I look luminescent. Thank God.
You are luminescent, and welcome to Wonder Witness Witchcraft.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I just want to make sure everything is on mute while I bring up the chat because we don't want any echoes.
Echo.
Echo. And I guess we'll just wait for people to filter through. Hello, Rowan Woods. Welcome.
Hello, lovely people. See, I'm trying to bring it up over here, but I don't think I could see it from here. No, I can't. That's okay. I'm going to let you chat. I'll let you look at the chat. You're probably better than I.
Look, you're the chat professional.
No.
Me too.
Negatory. Nope. I appreciate you though.
You're chatty. You're chatty. We have a saying in Australia, it's called chatty Cathy. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a chatty person, you're a chatty Cathy. Yeah.
I never meet a stranger. In fact, I met 2 friends in the elevator today.
Incredible.
Yeah, I totally evade people's personal space, and I'm just like, you will love me all the time.
You will talk to me, and you will enjoy it.
Yes, mm-hmm. It's true. You'll be begging for more. You'll be begging for more.
You'll want my phone number, I promise. If not, I'll give it to you anyway.
Yes, exactly. Let's go get tattoos.
See, I would love to get a tattoo with you. Oh my God.
Oh, let's do it. Let's plan that.
See, this is what I need. My friends aren't pushy enough for me to get a tattoo. Like, I've got friends who have tattoos, but they're not peer pressuring me enough to get one.
Oh my God. When I come to Melbourne, we're doing it.
Because that's all I need in my life. I just need I need some peer pressure for me to get a tattoo. That's all I need.
I don't care if it's like a little star and we all get like a different color star or whatever. I'll put that little thing on my butt. I don't care. I do not care.
I'll get it on my forehead.
Right here.
Right here. Right here.
My third eye.
Yeah. But I want to tattoo a third eye. I want one so bad, but I'm scared.
Well, scared. Scared why? Why are you scared?
Okay, I'm scared, A, because I'm scared that I'm gonna want like more. B.
Oh well, that's very plausible. Yes.
B, I'm scared I'm gonna hate it.
Mm. Well, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Well, okay. I didn't get my first tattoo until I think I was 26. And I know that seems like a little old, but I wanted to really make sure what I got I loved. So I made sure that it had something to do with family or, belief system or, something that I really connected with. And then I just went from there, and I thought that was the only thing I was ever going to get. And then slowly I got something on my lower back, and then somebody said that was a tramp stamp, and I'm like, oh no, I'm no tramp. So go all the way up the spine, and that's what happened. So I have a whole back tattoo and then a whole sleeve on my arm. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Now stop. And I'm already planning and plotting this other arm. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. This is the thing. But I've got a few designs that I've liked for like a pretty long time, like at least 2 or 3 years. So I don't know.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
I might just have to do it.
You just might need a pushy American Ravenflower to come to Australia and say, let's go get drunk and get tattoos.
That's what needs to happen. But literally, that's how it's going to happen, because I just need to make the decision right there and then walk into the tattoo parlor and be like, tattoo me now before I change my mind.
It's true. And I know where numbing liquid lies. If you use Aspercream, it works. You just have to like put it on the spot, like that old like Bengay type stuff. You can put it on the spot and then like saran wrap, like that clear plastic wrap, leave that sucker on for about 30 minutes. You're good.
Incredible.
Yeah.
See, this is why I need someone with experience to come and help me with this big step in my life.
Yeah, yeah. But you got to make sure you want what you want. I mean, no Tasmanian devils, no Tweety birds.
No thanks. No Tasmanian devils. Although I do really love Tasmania. And I feel like you would as well. I feel like you would love Tasmania as well. It's gorgeous.
I probably would. I don't know if I'd get it. Maybe I'd get a Tasmanian flower on me, but maybe not the Tasmanian devil.
Not the Tasmanian devil, no.
No, he is a little cute with his little spin and stuff.
You do know that like they exist.
Yes, but they look totally different than that thing that they made. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do. I have seen them in real life though, and they make a really funny sound. It's like terrifying.
Really?
Here's a little fun fact. That's why they're called the Tasmanian devil, because the settlers, when they came over here, they would hear them out in like the bush and think that they were like demons and devils, like howling at them in the night.
Oh my God.
That's why.
Oh my God.
That's why they call it.
So wait a minute. You have that horrible Kulu bird, and you have the like no way. That bird. I have still been trying to look it up again, and I can't find that same sound that she had and played for us. And I'm like, ugh, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
We have to go to a zoo when you get here.
Okay. All right.
So this is all things. You need to get here first. Get here first, and then we can plan what we're going to do.
I know. I got to move first, and then I can come.
Yeah, you go. Okay, cool. This time next year, let's make it. Let's book it in.
I'll do my best. I'll be just storing money away.
Cool.
Putting money away. Little gutty sack.
You know what we need? Look, we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about it. We need to make a GoFundMe for all the witches in America to come to Australia.
I did some research. I think it's like $1,500, $1,700. I think it is for airfare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, depending on how many of you come, like, you'll find a place to stay with one of us at least. If you
well, I'm not staying outside with all those crazy critters. No. No.
I can put you and Noah up in my place. That's fine. You two can.
You want me and the co-pirate? Me and the co-pirate?
Yeah.
He's a mess. He's a diva. I wish you well.
Incredible. Alrighty, guys. So I'm just having a look. Oh, Noah asked what we're saving for. You're saving for a trip to Australia. That's what you're saving.
Noah, you're already saving. What are you talking about? And notice I'm wearing my earbud.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to do a big collective hello to everyone who's joined us. But today, you guys, we are going to talk about, getting my presenter voice on. We are going to be talking about Raven and I's ancestry and our ancestors and things. And we're going to be talking about, magically. We're going to be talking about the magically, and we're going to be talking about the mundanely, and just all about ancestors. And it's going to be incredibly fun because I have some fun ancestor stories to tell you. I've got some fun names that are like hilarious, and you're like, that's not even a name, but it's a name.
Okay, I gotta hear. Because you're Italian, right?
So
you're Italian?
I am just like a big like mixing pot of just things. So,
me too.
So let's start. My dad is
Tom Cruise. No. Yes.
It happens all the time. People say to me, "Oh my God, you look so much like Tom Cruise," and I'm like, "Oh!"
Like, he's not my daddy.
He's not my daddy. I bet my mum wishes he was my daddy, but he's not.
He's short. He's very short.
Very short. He's very short. But no, a lot of people say that I look like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. But that's besides the point. So this is what you do. My dad is half Dutch and half Italian. So he was born in Holland and moved here when he was 3 or 4. So my dad and one of my uncles were both born in Holland, and they moved over here when they were quite young. So that's where I get my Italian and Dutch. And then my mum, her side of the family, they came over here to Australia as convicts. Because Australia, was like a prison land for English people. That way. So they all came over, or not all of them, some of them came over here to as convicts. Some of them not so much. Some of them moved here afterwards. But my mum's, most of my grandma's, my mum's side of the family, they settled down in Tasmania.
Oh.
So that's why I love Tasmania so much is because, like, literally they moved from England to Tasmania and that's where they've stayed, pretty much.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
My grandma's brothers and sisters all still live in Tasmania. My grandma is the only one who's moved to the mainland and she lives here in Melbourne. But they are still all down in Tasmania. And it's incredible. Like, they're same town, like, it's actually ridiculous. Like, they still all live in the same town that their ancestors, like, 100 years ago, moved to. That's ridiculous.
That's so cool, though. That's so cool. I am like a gypsy, so I roam around all the time. So this is probably why I need to, like, get going. I've been in San Antonio for just too long. It's like I feel like I need to go. I need to go experience something new. But some of my family members have been in the same, like, little house, and there's some over in North Carolina. There are some over in California. Oh yeah. And they've just stayed in the same little spot, same little circle. They go their 5-mile radius. They don't go outside of, they just don't go outside of the zone. And I'm like, aren't you bored to death? Like, new things.
I completely agree. So this is why I'm excited. So I've got the usual mix. I've got the English, Irish, and Scottish all mixed in there, and they've just kind of combined to what I just refer to as Australian, because that's, basically what white Australians are. Just we're a mix of UK that. Mm-hmm. But Australia is such a big melding pot of people because we're such a young country. Everyone is here. Everyone.
Yeah, it is a melting pot. It really is. I think I shared with you, I had friends that are Australian. They're here in the States now, but their father dodged the draft in Greece. Went to Australia to go raise his family. Yeah. And so, they look Greek, but they, they sound Australian. And it's so interesting to me, but yeah. And say, like their Yaya lives in Melbourne, actually.
Well, you know what? Melbourne is the most livable city in the world, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have to go.
That's a fact. So maybe instead of moving to wherever you're moving to, you should move to Melbourne instead.
Okay. Let me check with my husband. Let me just see. That would be far. That would be really far from a grandbaby. I don't know if I could accurately spoil her from there. But I am coming, and I will stay, and we will stay for like a good 2 weeks on land, and then we want to go to Tasmania and New Zealand and go, jump on a cruise ship and do all that. Oh yeah. Yes.
I'd be happy to do that with y'all. I'm due for a holiday, so
jump aboard the boat. I love to cruise.
I'll definitely jump aboard the witchy cruise boat. Absolutely.
Witchy cruise. Yeah. Put your broom back in the closet. Jump aboard the boat.
Jump aboard the boat. We take the boat now.
Take the boat. Oh my God.
So what? Okay. So what's your makeup?
My makeup. Okay. Well, okay. So my mother is basically all Puerto Rican, and I was lied to for a long time that I had Cherokee Indian. I can't find not a damn speck of Cherokee nothing on Ancestry.com. I can't. And everybody's like, it's the truth, and this is what has happened. I'm like, they're so passionate about it, and I'm just like,
wow.
Okay. I'm like, do you need to have Cherokee Indian? I'm like, is that a thing for you? If you need, I can tell you that I'm sure somewhere, someday, somebody met up with somebody and didn't want to say anything about it. So yes, it's plausible. Sure, we're Cherokee if that's what you need in life to move forward. But Puerto Rican, my mother, Puerto Rican, to the point where in the Puerto Rican tradition, you name the child, usually the middle name is the mother's maiden name, and then the last name is the father's name, but then it gets complicated because then you have his mother's maiden name in there too. And so I don't know hardly any Spanish, at least not, I can't, I don't know. I can get as far back as like this, like Vietnam War, and maybe even a little bit before then, accurately, and then the rest of it is just like, forget it. I just don't know. Then my dad's side, again with the Cherokee Indian, I'm like, no, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Really, bitch, really.
We are Scotch Irish. We are Scotch Irish and English, but then I had done a lot of Ancestry.com, and I got way the heck back. Come to find out, we're not only like the white trash of both Ireland and Scotland. No, we we are related to a knight, French. He was in that war, and the prince gifted him some land in England in this place called Abingdon, which is just below Oxford. So that's how they got there. I know, it's so cool. Okay, so I put on my bucket list, I am going to go and see this place.
Absolutely.
I get there. We're doing research. And this is incredible. And I think I've said it a couple of times on my channel, but the magnitude of this, and I think that you will get it, because doing all of this research, and you're going through birth documents, church documents, all different kinds of things, census, all kinds of stuff. So you're getting confirmations as soon as you learn how to actually look for this stuff. And it's like validating every single time. And then once that is confirmed, you want to know all about this one person that you just looked up, right? You're just like, this is amazing. Okay, so my 17th grandfather, 16th grandfather, somewhere in there, was the mayor of this town, Abingdon. King Henry VIII put my family in charge of this bridge that goes over the, the Thames, or the Thames. How do I say that? Thames. That one. So there's like little fingers of the river that goes up, right? So put him in charge of this bridge. There's a pub still in existence that my family lived on or in. I went into the pub. I walked across the bridge. Come to find out, the B&B that we were staying in is like a coexist religious B&B, totally awesome. My grandfather built the timbers of this house. And so I'm laying there in bed, and I'm like, oh my God, he did all of the framework, and he was like studied for a certain joint that like a pitch in a roof. He's the one that created it. So I have all of this write up, right? And my family had owned certain properties or whatever, and a lot of it was sold off over time. But there were 2 or 3 properties that were still in existence. One was being let out, and then another one was like there. So my husband, the pushy American, says, as we're coming back from the pub, because of course, what do you do in England? You go to the pub. It's delicious food. You don't go necessarily drink. The food is just freaking great. Okay, so you go. And we're coming back, and I'm walking straight back to the B&B, and he's like, where are you going? He's going across the street is where my family owns this property. And Bear's knocking on the door, and he's like, come on, come on. I'm like, I don't want to be that crazy American. You know, I don't want to like disturb anybody. Like, they're going to think like I don't want to, like, he's like, you did not come all the way, you know, to just sit there and go back to the room. What is your problem? And so we're knocking. Nobody's there. And I'm like, look, see, it didn't work out. We go back, we have a little glass of wine in the garden, and then he's like, go get those papers that you had brought, you know, because I had all of my documents written out. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, we are knocking on that door again against my will. The guy answers, and it looks like he's got like house slippers on and then like riding clothes. You could tell that I have inconvenienced this poor man. His name is David. He is lovely. He teaches at Oxford, and Bear's like, oh my God. He's like, okay, so this is my wife. This is why we're here, da, 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 you know, and I'm telling him the story. And he's like, you know, tell him, babe. So I get out my little paper and I start reading. He's like, let me stop you right there. He says, I wrote that document. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
Crazy. He invites us in. He shows me all of the stuff. He's like, here's where, you know, this was, here's where that is. He's like, if you go over to like the other center, you'll find that there is a bank there that also used to be an inn that your family owned. And there was like the whole Great Divide and all this other stuff. So my grandfather, one of them, had a daughter, married this man. He was kind of a jerk, and he swiped the property from him through the marriage. So he lost pretty much everything. So the son is like, well, where's my inheritance? He gets all upset, and he goes to Virginia, and started a new Abingdon. So if you look up United States and you look at Virginia, there is an Abingdon, Virginia, that my ancestors started. And that was like how that whole thing happened. And I'm like, oh my God. They had separated, this is where it gets like really thick. They had separated. I know, it's like, oh my God.
I'm so excited right now.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And I've got all of it like documented. I don't have it right with me, but I can totally show you, and I'll bring it when I come. Okay. So apparently they had like pissed off the church. They weren't donating as much as they were. And back then, you're a part of the church because it's a society thing. Hmm. Rumors of witchcraft in my family. Yeah. I love it. Yes. Yeah.
That's incredible. What an amazing story.
Oh, it was awesome. So we get to the town center, and we're looking down the street, and you get to see the town center, and you get to look all like go 360 around the whole thing. The curator is like, what is this and what is that? And I'm telling him, and I'm showing this, and he's like looking at me. He's like, oh my God. And he's like, you're the real thing. And I'm like, well, thank you. I've done so much research. He's like, no, dear. He's like, you have enough research here to file for dual citizenship if you want it. Oh he's God. Like, you probably could kick some people off of their land.
Wow.
And I'm like, I would never do that. Like, I would never do that. I don't think I want to live in the UK,
like,
but
you can be like a lady.
I don't know. At least I don't know. An innkeeper at least.
at the very least, I'll be a bar wench.
Exactly. I've got a pirate. I can be a wench. I'm good at that. I'm good.
I'm fine with that. That's really like incredible. I'm waiting for my DNA test to come back, and I'm also awaiting a letter from the Queen saying that we're long lost. Like, I'm her long lost grandchild, and that she needs me to come to Buckingham Palace to live with her. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she's ill right now. She's so ill right now. I'm like, oh, I know. I think she's a fabulous queen. I love that queen.
Oh, she
so
is
strong.
Like incredible, and I'm really not looking forward to the day where that isn't existing anymore, because there's rumours that Australia will move away from the monarchy once once that happens.
Oh, I see.
I'm not about, because my mother is she's very much a royalist, and she's very much passed that down to me. She had like an obsession with Princess Diana.
Who didn't?
Right? So literally, like, for the longest time until okay, so remember when I was telling you the story about how we moved house?
Mm-hmm.
So for my entire life up until that point, we had a life-size cutout
Diana.
of Diana.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
She was wearing pearl earrings, a pearl string, and a pink, like, shimmery dress.
Wow. Well, last summer I got to go to the Queen Mary.
She did have a crown in as well. I think it was pearls too. But yeah, so like obsession. Like my mum was obsessed. When she passed away, my mum cried and cried for days. For days.
Wow. Wow.
So we are very staunch royalists in my family. So we aren't looking forward to the possibility of that happening when that happens. So
I do not blame you. I mean, I've studied, U.S. history for a long time, and I do sometimes struggle. It's like, yes, we're independent, and yes, we're all these wonderful things, but it's like, but you totally stole your national colors from the Queen. You stole your anthem from the Queen. You said nanny nanny boo boo, but really you just were a traitor. I mean, I'm sorry. When you really do the research, it's just like,
yeah, exactly.
What did you fight for? To basically do this exact same thing? I don't get it. And then with all this Trump nonsense, I am not a Trump supporter, and I'm sorry, people, you're gonna hate me, whatever. I'm not. I just think he is like the lowest of low. But like when the Queen put out that thing, she's just like, we'll take you back, America. And I'm like, yes, let's take us back.
Save us. Please save us.
Please.
Yeah, and that's completely understandable. But so I'm holding out for Lizzie. God bless her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you ever watch The Crown? Do you watch The Crown on, is it? Oh, I love it. Have they done season 2 yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Oh, God, it's so good.
We have it on Australian Netflix.
Okay.
So only season 1 is on Australian Netflix.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, so good.
But I do know that it's been signed for possibly another 2 seasons.
Yeah. Yay! I love it.
It's a fabulous show. A fabulous show
it really is.
And like it's just incredible. Just incredible.
Yes. And it's based on, real facts and, all that stuff. So it's like, I know that some of it is hearsay or made up, but I mean, not a whole lot of it. Not a whole lot. So
This is true. So I forget what we were talking about now before that.
You are a royalist.
Yes.
And before then.
So I'm waiting for my DNA to come back, and I'm waiting for my letter from the Queen saying that, she needs to claim me to England. So I'm super excited for that. That's my Cinderella story, right? So all the girls have like their princess story. That's my princess story. Okay.
Princess Diaries. I get it. Okay.
I'm allowed that. I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to my own little Princess Diaries. Please.
That's right. That's right. Do you have a cat named Fat Louie?
So going back, my grandmother's side. So now I'm still working on my grandmother's side of the family, but they were Scottish. And I need to talk to one of my uncles because he is very much into this stuff. He lives in Tasmania. And he knows what the family tartan is. He knows, he's got the family crest,
Oh, wow.
He knows all about that. If we have, official family functions, he will come out in the tartan.
Wow.
Absolutely, he will. So, and
Did he share this information with you? Did he share all this information with you?
So, I know that he has it, and I know that he wears it, and I know that he knows about it, so I need to talk to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to call him
You do.
and talk to him about it.
You
But
do.
I'm let me quickly, I've got my Ancestry.com here up and running in front of me.
Okay, I got mine on my app. I can tell you how far I got back.
So with, oh, now where are you taking me? Okay. But the thing is as well, it's, Ancestry.com for me it's quite expensive here in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
It's
expensive here too. It's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's $30 for the month.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will find myself doing is what I'll find myself doing is buying the subscription for the $30 for the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will go like gung ho like for that entire month. And then quickly cancel it before it ticks over. It's so bad and so thrifty and cheap of me. It's actually yeah, really, it's really bad. It's really bad.
No,
But
it's not. I totally get it. I mean, it's hard. Some people are like, oh, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can never do it. I can never do it. The wealth of information. I mean, there's so much at your fingertips. If you had to hire somebody to try to do it on your own, you'd be paying a lot more than $30 a month. And to see the printouts and you can see your ancestors signing stuff, like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And like I've been lucky enough to get some photos from. I've got a lot of photos of like grave sites and headstones, but I've got some other photos of like them, like actually them. There's this one woman. Oh, I can't remember. I'm just going to see if I can try to find her. But there's a picture of her, like one of those old style pictures with her and all of her daughters.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, and they're all there and they're all like dressed in. See, this is the thing about the photo. They're all dressed in black. So I don't know whether it was like a mourning photo.
Probably.
Right? So it doesn't, like, there was no caption or information that came with the photo as to why the photo had occurred. But they were all dressed in black and they, because back in those days you didn't smile in photos.
No.
So they're all standing there just like, she's in the middle with all her daughters like around her.
Like Morticia, I know.
Morticia, literally. But one of my favorite, and I'm going to have to, so I've got, in my family line, I've got the surname Badcock.
Nice.
And it gets better. It gets better. So one of my ancestors, her name is Linda Fanny Badcock.
Oh my God.
Unfortunate soul, right? Linda Fanny Badcock.
Love it. Love it.
So unfortunately for Linda Fanny, I'm just going onto her profile now. So she lived in Tasmania. She was born on the 23rd of January in 1888. She died at the age of 28 from a horse and buggy accident.
Oh my God.
So
that's horrible.
Accident killed her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so what the story is, because I got a whole document, like this whole write-up on her death. She was coming back from somewhere and they were on this long road, like in the bush. And I think the wheel came off and just like this big, it just, like, she died. Like the wheel came off the cart and crashed and she died. How sad is that? right?
It's horrible. She probably didn't even know what was happening. It happened so fast, I bet. Now, do you find that as a witch, do you, after you do your research on your ancestor, do you try to reach out to them?
It's something that I have been working on. It's something that I have been working on. Up until recently, I worked with Ancestors, capital A.
Okay.
So it is something that I've been working on, and that advice was given to me by Elder Crow. Because when I visited him a few months ago for our epic 4-hour, chat, I had some people come through to him. And it's not something that he wanted to talk to me about on camera. So I was there for the whole 4 hours with my ancestors around him for the whole 4 hours. And he was just like,
and he's just like,
okay.
yeah.
After we finished and we'd like sat down on the couch and we had like a coffee and whatever, he was like, so I have to tell you, there are some people around. And I'm like, okay. He was describing them to me and I knew exactly who they were straight away. One was my great nonna. And another one was my great-grandmother. So I went and I dug through some pictures and I sent them to him. I said, okay, this is who I think they are. Can you confirm to me that these are these people? So I, showed him the pictures and he was like, that's them. So after I got that confirmation, I was like, okay, I know that they are around me. So I probably should start working with them on the personal level, because I'm not in tune with that kind of stuff. I'm not a medium. I don't see spirits. Sometimes I will sense spirits, but I don't know. If I sense them, I don't know their personality to be able to say, oh, that's you. Besides one spirit, which I can tell you later, but I'm not going to tell on camera. But besides one spirit, I know who that is. All the others is just spirit, capital S. I don't know who you are. So until I got that confirmation that they are around me, especially my great nonna, because she lived and died in Italy, and she in her small village was like a nurse. So back in those days, if you were a nurse, you were probably also considered a threat, because she did, which was rare. It was a rarity. The village that my family come from is literally like population a couple of hundred, like no one. It was very rare. She actually did have medical training. She was the only one in her village who was able to administer injections, which is a strange concept for me to think about. But she was the only one who was actually like allowed to administer injections. So
that's a big deal. What time frame are we talking about here? We're talking like the 1900s or like early 1900s?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. If you give me a minute, I can double check all of that information for you. But yeah, so it's a really kind of interesting thing, because that's just not something that like happened.
No, it was usually the men that would do it. So for a female to do it is a little out there. That just shows how smart she was and how trustworthy she was. Yeah. So she must have been very well respected.
So this is the thing, because she was like the nurse of the village. She would absolutely have that knowledge, of herbal remedies and all of those different things. Plus, they were farmers, and it was very common back then to farm by the moon.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt in my mind that she was privy to our types of knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I've seen some pictures of their house. I mean, I would probably call it a dwelling more than a house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But she had things hanging on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So she was definitely privy to our knowledge, and that's why I'm in the process of actually working with her now that I know that she's around.
Yeah.
And actually working with her, because I feel like she could give me some insight into the Italian side of things, because it's very, very hard. The Italian witch is very, very secretive, and if you weren't in a family, if you were female, pretty much, you wouldn't know those.
Right.
So it's very, very hard to do research, and like there's only a few books. There's Charles Godfrey Leland's Gospel of Ardea, but that has got its own situation around whether it's true, whether it's real, whether he made it all up or whatnot. So, and then there's Raven Gramassi's book Italian Witchcraft. So, and you know, Raven Gramassi, again, there is a lot of controversy as to what's what and who's who. So with everything that you read that's published, you have to take it for yourself. Or if you like a container of salt, probably.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's just that person's perspective. You know, you've learned. I don't know. Most people will eventually get there, but you know, as you're learning history, you've got to kind of understand what type of history you're really delving into, because it's that person's perspective and then their point of view. And sometimes they'll alter history to help their story along, or they want to paint it this way. So it's like you really have to consider the source. And I think history just over time has, I don't know, it's done a disservice to the next generation by, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So
do your research.
So a lot of my Italian practices are things that my family just do that they don't know they're doing, you know. So using salt and using olive oil and water and things like that, and little charms and little things, little nuances, if you like, that they don't even know what they're doing, but it is actually folk magic, you know.
Yeah.
Which is
that
really
is so awesome.
It's really cool, and like I see them do those things, and I'm like, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what you're doing, but I do. This guy knows.
Yeah.
This guy knows.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, because my nonno, so my dad's dad, is one of 13 children, and a lot of them have passed away now. There's only a few of them left. Two of them are in Australia, and the rest are over in Italy. So I think there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's maybe 5 left out of the 13 of them. His older brother, who has moved here, his wife is also Italian, and from the stories that I've heard from my dad, she is also very privy to those types of things. Stories where they brought home a puppy, and I don't know, but underneath and this is going to sound absolutely horrific, but underneath a dog's tongue, there's like a little vein or something. So she cut out that vein or bit of cartilage or whatever. It looks like a worm. So she calls it the worm of the devil. So you have to cut that out of the animal, otherwise the animal is going to have the devil in it. So
oh my God.
Still very, very Christian, very, very Catholic, but like that's the thing. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
I've heard of Italian curses being placed on people and in homes. That what they used to do was they used to write out these curses underneath rugs.
Yes.
on the underside of furniture, on the back
under beds,
on the backs of on the backs of drawers and cupboards and things like that. And literally, it did happen to one of my family members one time, an extended, like, removed family member from my immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
They came in and literally had to burn all of their furniture. That was the only way that you could get rid of it. You had to burn all the furniture.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's been, and then I've got, because the Italian community in Melbourne especially, everyone knows each other. So I've heard stories as well of a curse that has something to do with like a hunk of meat. I think it's like a, I don't know, but one time they rocked up to their house and on their front doorstep with this big hunk of raw meat with all of this stuff like stuck into it. Like, imagine like a poppet with like pins and nails and stuff, but a slab of meat.
Oh, that had a stink.
Right? And this is the thing. And as it decays and as that, you know, death energy happens, that's how the curse works. I have to plug in. Right? So this is stuff that I'm learning from my family that, like, is ridiculous. But, like, I don't have any confirmation that my own family did that kind of stuff. Well, I hope they didn't cast curses, but my great nonna was definitely privy.
Wow. Now, and she's no longer living, you said.
No, she has passed over, and she's the one that appeared to Elder Crow. So her name was Domenica.
Domenica. That's beautiful.
And she, interesting, going back to the mundane, she married her first cousin.
Mm-hmm. Well, that happened. That just happened.
Yes. So it is very hard.
Yeah.
It is very hard for me to trace my Italian family, especially when they're all related to each other.
Yeah. You keep running into that. Yeah, it's a little hard. It's a little difficult.
It does. When they're all, you know, kissing cousins, it's like, okay.
Alrighty then.
All right. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, I mean, are you open to maybe having her teach you? You know, now that you know that she's around?
Yeah. So I am especially around. This is something that I am working on coming into winter. I feel like winter for me, especially this year, I don't know. I feel like my soul is yearning for more this winter. So I definitely feel like there's going to be some big revelations, if you like. And definitely, I know, right? It's daunting, but exciting. But
it's exciting. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing for you. Because I did all of my ancestral research and I did all that stuff or whatever. It's like I've had paranormal experience happen all of my life, you know what I mean? And you just be quiet and because you're told you're crazy or whatever, and you just don't deal with it. And it's like, here you've had all of this training. It's like, now I feel like I'm clamoring for all of the training because, you know, there's different things like, you know, I don't even know exactly what I am or what to call myself. Am I clairvoyant? Am I a medium? Am I this? Am I that? I don't really know. I haven't put all of that together. I just know I have these experiences. So it's like now I'm doing all of the official like training research or whatever, but you already have that. So it's like a huge blessing. It's like the doors can just swing open and you can just like get to work because you know what the hell you're doing. And I feel so happy for you. That's just so awesome for you. It's incredible.
So there is, I can just like, it's just like an innate pull. Like I can just feel a pull that this winter is just gonna have a lot of
next level shit.
Next level shit. That's what's definitely That's what's definitely happening for me.
Do you
And
feel the veil is very thin there because it's autumn there? Do you feel it
yeah,
very thin? Okay.
yeah. So it's still, yeah, it is still thin. So yeah, I think that's kind of why I'm getting these feelings in the last couple of weeks, is because the veil is thin and I'm feeling these pulls. And yeah, I don't know. I think I haven't delved a lot into shadow, and because I feel like shadow work was trending last year. I'll just say that a lot of people were.
Yeah, I agree.
That might have been because 2016, you know, that year numerology, yeah, was what it probably, it was a good year to do. Look, I'll give it to the people who did it. It was a good year for it. But I don't know whether what's happening with me this winter is shadow work or not. I'm not sure. But I know that I'm going to have to dig pretty deep to kind of fulfill, you know, because I feel like there's a hole or something that I need to be filled, if that makes sense.
No, you're hungry. You're hungry for it.
I'm hungry. And I've got to, yeah, absolutely. That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, to me, I feel that shadow work, I mean, yeah, you can set it aside and let it be like this one big thing that's happening for months and months. But I mean, I honestly feel that shadow work is something that we can do daily. So it can be monthly, it can be weekly, whatever. You can pick it up, put it back down, and pick it right back up again. And I think that anybody who's truly trying to grow, truly trying to get to that next level shit needs to kind of constantly be doing shadow work and really tapping into okay, what are my genuine thoughts right now? Where am I really coming from? Why am I feeling this? You kind of have to constantly be in a state of self-awareness in order to understand or help others, you know. So you've got to be very aware in order to be very aware.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm interested to see how my ancestors will play a part in that. Because and my other great grandmother came through, and I'm not completely sure why she came through that day. So, you know, she's another person that I have to kind of talk to and find out why those two particular ladies are around me. So, who knows? But what else? Do you have any other interesting ancestral stories?
Well, well, I found the picture of the bridge. One second. Let's see if I can get it. Gallery. Do I have it there? Let me go back. So I got back to, and I'm going to say, because there's some things that can be adjusted, and I haven't verified them yet, so I'm not claiming them just yet. But I got back to 1312 in that town. I got back way back there. Let me see if I can get to the gallery. 1312. Let's look. Sorry. Oh gosh. So you have like on, I don't know if you can see it, but you know, you've got like in the app, you've got like different, you know, stories and documents that can get added on to a certain person, and you kind of have to like go back and keep going back and going back and going back until you get there. Hold on. Un momento. Please hold.
Please hold.
Nope, that's not it. Dad nabbit. Come on now. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go. His name's John Branch, and it came from Sir A. John Branch, which was Ralph A. de Branchet. I think it's really funny because in America, you know, when they had already come over or whatever, and so, you know, you go back from your father and you keep going back, and that's still considered new until you jump the pond, and then, you know, you whatever. So there was like 3 or 4 in a row, father son, where they called each other Olive, and I'm like, really, Olive Branch? Oh, that's so lame. I'm like,
Are you serious? Oh my goodness.
olive branch.
What
So,
day?
okay, here is my bridge, and I got to cross it.
Oh my goodness.
Do you see the little pub?
Yeah.
That's the pub. So yeah, that's called the Nag's Head Pub now. You
That's
can look up all of these things. So my husband got a picture of me standing on the bridge, you know, in that exact same spot. Um, it was just incredible. Now, okay, so here's something kind of weird. All right, I have my second toe is crooked. It looks like a little hook, and I've always gotten teased about this toe. I'm like, so I wouldn't wear flip flops or thongs, or I said thong. Okay,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Okay.
Well done.
I wouldn't wear like open toed shoes because I was always like so self-conscious of my toes. I can't believe I'm saying this on. Okay, anyhow, so as we're strutting about, you know, the town, right? People are it's summer, and even though it's like in the 60s, you know, in England, and I'm like, this is wonderful and I love it. But you know, they have open-toed shoes, and I would say 90% of the women have the crooked toe. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Bear, I belong here. I belong. I belong. The other thing, let's see. Remember I told you about David? So we went and knocked on his door, and he came and he showed me the house and the backyard and all this other stuff. And he's like, you know, what are you guys doing? How much time do you have? And we're like, we're only here today and then tomorrow. And then, you know, then we got to fly back to America. And he's like, oh my God, he's a writer. He was studying my grandfather because he teaches up in Oxford. He says, do you understand that your grandfather helped build Oxford University? And I'm like, excuse me, what? No, I did not know this. And he's like, you need to go up there, go see this. He helped build the chapel in All Saints College. There's several colleges in Oxford. And so, yeah, we got to go up there. We got to see it. We got to like take pictures next to things. It was incredible. So the last night we're there, we're trying to pack up the tiniest car they ever gave us. I mean, it is clown car legit. And we way overpacked. And so it is like all the way to the brim. And like Bear and I are like this, like in the car. It's so bad. Like this. And he's huge. He's like 6'3", you know, 6'2". He's huge. So big old pirate and I in this car. So we're packing up. So I'm trying to figure out, like, they turn off all of the lights, and it's like the creepiest. It's like, it reminds me, this place is called St. Ethelwald's boarding house or whatever, like coexist religious place. It's like, has a garden, has a stuff, and it's lovely. All right. But they turn off all of the lights, and it reminds me of when Harry Potter goes and stays at the Leaky Cauldron, you know, like with the monster book under the bed. Okay, you know, everything's like at a weird angle, and the stairs are all like, whir, whir, whir. I mean, this is how it is. And so the bathrooms are like down the hall, and I'm like trying to look down the hall, and all the lights are off, and I am a big chicken. I'm like, bok, because I am out there, and I'm like, yeah, get out of bed and come to the bathroom with me. He's like, are you really serious? I'm like, I'm scared. And so I like walk down the hall, and then somebody is walking with me. Somebody I can't see is walking with me because the floors are creaky as fuck. I mean, like, I am terrified. And so I am like, scrub, wash, brush, dry, get the hell out of here quick. And so I don't know what show I gave this person, but I mean, and they creaked back to my room with me. Oh. So it's like they are probably 2 steps behind me the entire time. And I'm just like, I can't sleep. So I end up watching a documentary on Freddie Mercury, and that's my last time in England.
So when you were doing all of this stuff and, you know, finding out about this particular ancestor who had guarded the bridge and built these buildings, did you feel his presence, or could you feel his spirit or his essence or whatever? Could you feel some kind of attachment?
I did in one room. There was a gathering room that was upstairs and actually was right next to our room. And they do like yoga and meditation and all different kinds of stuff in there. And I thought that it was like a sanctuary. So I didn't go, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't go in the room? Oh, this is what your grandfather did, and this and this and this." And like they're showing us the next day. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And when I went up like the little staircase, I totally felt him. I felt somebody who felt like family, but I didn't exactly know who it was until later. Still related in David's house. When he took us up, and it was like 3 levels. And then, so it was basically the attic. So it was very interesting that attic was mostly what I resonated with there. And then I definitely felt somebody in the garden, which isn't that funny, Ravenflower. I mean, people are like, "Oh, it's a black rose." And I'm like, no, it's like the bird and the connection into the earth. So it's like earth and sky type of thing. But yeah, the garden for sure. And then it's just, I've got crazy pictures and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that I can like blow them all up. And I keep looking to see if I can see anything like, you know, paranormal activity. I'm like looking, but no, I can't find it. I can't see anything.
Well, so I can trace my Dutch side back to 1545.
That's amazing.
Which is pretty good.
Yes, it is.
So basically, there's this whole thing, but it's unconfirmed. I can try same kind of thing. I can go further back, but it's unconfirmed at the west as to whether that person is related directly to the person who I'm related to.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes.
There are people who exist before the person who kind of started my line, but it's unconfirmed as to whether they're directly related.
Correct.
So anyway, they were farmers. I come from a big family of humble farmers. You know, we really work the land. We really work the land. But anyway, obviously Holland, like Dutch, they're all like, what's famous? Like you think Holland, you think of like the little windmills.
Windmills. Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have a windmill in Holland.
Oh my God.
It's not a bridge.
I love it.
But it's a windmill. So, you know. I have one singular windmill out of the thousands and thousands of windmills in Holland.
So one day you're going to go to that windmill. You're going to go, yes.
I'm going to go to the windmill and I'm going to see what kind of spirit connection I can achieve there. But it does exist, and it is still called, the Dutch last name was Oostendorp.
Wow. You said that so well. That was great.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So Oostendorp, so it's Oostendorp Windmill. And I'm like, how cool. That's awesome. But they weren't always farmers. Like I've come down and a few of them were weavers. My great-grandfather, he was very, very well educated. They did, you know, after they might have come from humble farmers, but by the time they got down to my Oma, my grandmother, her father was very well educated and had beautiful, beautiful script. I've seen letters that he hand wrote, and his script, his calligraphy was incredible. We have a set of encyclopedias that belong to him, and he was the type of person that his encyclopedias were his world. If you said anything that contradicted what the encyclopedia said, you were wrong.
Okay.
You were just wrong. From what I've heard, he wasn't the nicest person. but he was very well educated and he did do very well for himself, and his handwriting was like beautiful, but he didn't seem to be like the nicest person. He seemed to just, not that he was evil, or like, he just seemed to just be like a crotchety kind of old man.
Yeah.
Is what I've kind of gathered from that, from the stories that I've heard, especially when he was in his later life. I think he just got very crotchety. They are buried in it. They moved to Australia, and they are buried here. I haven't visited their graves, and it's actually embarrassing at how close they are. Like, they are in a cemetery that's maybe 20 minutes from where I live.
You need to go. You need to go.
Right? I don't know where in this cemetery they're buried. It is a big cemetery. So I'm gonna have to bring my Oma along. She's not gonna like it. She doesn't want to do it because her mum, so my great Oma, she actually died on my Oma's birthday.
Oh.
So my Oma has just like never ever celebrated her birthday. Like, I'm always like, oh, you're turning this year, let's do something. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'll throw you a party, like, please. She's getting better. She's getting better the older she gets. She's getting better at doing things for her birthday. But I'm going to have to bring her along, and we're going to have to go down there because they're both buried side by side. So I am going to go and have to do that. And it's embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed that I haven't gone to visit them in my 20 years of life. And
Don't be. I think you're ahead of the curve. I mean, most people don't really dive into this stuff until the, mid-30s and things like that. I think that because technology is what it has opened up, I think your generation's eyes to like, oh my God, all of this stuff is here. And I think that because you are spiritual, you've got that spiritual connection, like you and Noah and Madame Luna and all you youngins, all you sweet, adorable youngins, my little babies, my little sweet baby friends. It helps you understand and appreciate and respect those things, because let's face it, people your age really don't give a shit.
No, they don't.
They don't.
But when I tell people that I spent $170 on the DNA test to find out what my ancestry is, they're like, why?
Why? Yeah. What is that going to do for you?
And I'm like, because I've wanted to do it forever. Like, how exciting. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't get it. I mean, all of you guys just amaze me. You just amaze me. I feel like I've wasted so much of my life, doing other lifey things. I'm like, if I only had the blinders on, I could have been a contender. It's just like, I'm so happy for you guys to get on it now. Do it.
I've been on this path for almost 10 years.
Wow.
And my parents thought that it was just going to be a phase. Oh, it's just a phase. It's just a phase. And for a minute there, I always did think, I'm like, am I, in 5 years' time when I'm 20 and a grown up, am I still going to be casting spells and waving wands? And yep, I most definitely am. And I feel like I'm at the point now where it's here to stay, like, there's no turning back. I feel like you just can't give up magic and witchcraft and my practice now.
You can't. I mean, even if you take a scientific approach, everything, has been verified as energy. It's all energy. So, transference of energy is a thing. People can be mad and transfer their anger to you, or to somebody else, so how is it that people can just deny witchcraft, which is the manipulation of energy and using elements in order to come on, it like totally makes sense from a scientific level. So for people to sort of deny that, it's just, it kind of like, whoa. And I have, like, in September, it'll be a solid 2 years of dedicated practice. And then, like, I think I did my witchiversary on YouTube in February. But it's like, God, I wish I would have just been more dedicated then. But I just knew I wasn't going to stick to it. I was a flake. I was an asshole. I really was. I mean, back when I was your age, I was just awful. I was a horrible person. Horrible person. Really was. But you know, you go through different adversities, and then you put up these walls and don't let anybody in, right? So that's where I was with that. I wasn't interested in self-healing or trying to find answers for nothing. I was just trying to survive. that's what I was doing. So I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. If nobody has told you this, well, please let me. So proud of you for doing that. I think it's incredible. Incredible. You've got to know your past in order to understand your future.
Absolutely. And it is such, like, especially when you can go back so far and you hear about all of these things, and you know, like, you learn about all the different things and even the trials that, you know, your ancestors went through, and you're like, if you didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be here. Like, if that person didn't exist, either would I. Like, it is mind-boggling. And this is the whole reason why my channel is called Wonder Weirdness Witchcraft, because I mean, you're a churchgoer. You know, you've got to have, one of the gifts or one of the things was wonder and awe. You know? And that's something that always, when I was learning it in school, always resonated with me, because there is just, like, so many things that I don't understand, and so many things in this world that is just, like, ridiculous. It's like, how can we not appreciate that there is a bigger, whether it's God, whatever it is, how can you not appreciate that there is a bigger something for what we are? So that's why it's translated into my YouTube channel, because wonder and awe for me is something very, very important, not only in my own life, but in my practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always something to discover, always something to discover. And sometimes, you know, you could just be sitting out, like, sometimes I'm sitting out in the garden and, like, I've grown this plant forever, right? And then, like, all of a sudden I'm fixed on the leaf and, like, how many veins are in that leaf. And I'm just like, look at how incredible this is and just how it's made up. And this is what it does. And it provides, you know, these medicinal properties, and it smells like this and it looks like that, and how does it be so blue, or how does it, you know, it's just, and when you really, like, sit there and think about every little thing, you're like, oh my God, it's just too big. It's just so big. And I'm just this little teeny speck.
Like, a simple flower, when you think about it, is the biggest thing in the world. It's God. that flower is God. That flower is Goddess. That flower is God.
Yes, exactly. It's how I feel. One of my favorite places or spaces is on a cliff overlooking the sea in, like, Goleta, Santa Barbara area. And it's like, I would go there and kind of, like, you hike, you know, back around, and it's very close to University of Santa Barbara, you know, back in the trails. And I just remember this feeling, you know, I would, every time I had something like some strife or something, I would go there and just have some time, and that breeze coming off of the ocean, you know, that, you know, you feel the weight of that water. You don't have to be in it, you just have to be next to it, and it's just, like, so powerful. It's just powerful. And it's just, how do people just deny that? I mean, they're just really denying themselves, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something that I get really passionate about it, because that's how I will connect to divine. That's how I connect to divine energy. It is the simple things, literally, from a blade of grass to the fact that rainbows can appear in the sky when sunlight shines through water. It's, I simply can't.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing. It's, you know, I not too long ago, I was kind of like, again, apparently I'm going to hell and all this other stuff, right? Okay, because
What's
I'm not following Christians. It's just going to happen, right? And you get those people because we have put ourselves out there on YouTube, so people are going to give us their opinion because they feel that they need to. Whatever, I get it. And having been, Christian or whatever, you're feeling like you've got to save that person, like it's your responsibility to do it, right? Because God has chosen you to go and preach the word, right? Well, all right, so it's like, how is it? And I kind of turned it on them. I'm like, when you really, I said, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I can quote scripture and where you found that and blah, blah, blah. I said, I believe you're taking it out of context. However, why is it that you feel that what I'm doing is so fantastical when your story and your basis for your religion is fantastical, absolutely fantastical, but you don't want to give me grace for trying to discover this because you just really, you're just maybe too concerned with being right to actually see what is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. I mean, and I'm thinking, I'm just like, back when I was, street preacher, I mean, that's pretty much what it was. We'd offer free prayer and all kinds of stuff, down, in the art district. And it's like, I think I'm just like, wow, like we are really asking people to like
sell their soul.
Sell their soul, believe in the impossible, but it's just so interesting that they won't give us the same respect. And even though we've been here a lot longer and we're celebrating Earth, we're celebrating, we're celebrating nature. I mean, and I don't understand how that ever could be wrong, because even if it's from their creator as they see it, it's still his creation. How is that wrong?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're just not enlightened like we are.
That's what it comes down to.
They are, and it is really unfortunate because they do have access to such enlightenment. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I still go by being Catholic. I don't go to church. I don't, even though, Catholicism is my, official religion, witchcraft for me is a practice. I practice witchcraft secularly. But my relationship to my God is not the same way. It's not the same to anyone who would be sitting next to me in church. I don't need to go to sit in a pew and do that in a building when I can go out into my backyard or look outside my window or simply light a candle and not have the same reverence and connection to divine energy.
Absolutely.
And it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same when, everyone has their own different connection and relationship with their own God and goddess. I don't understand why. I simply don't understand why the Christians and the Catholics and everyone seems to think that they all have to have the same relationship with God.
Yeah, if I agree with you, because if by their thoughts we're all created differently, right? So wouldn't we all celebrate our creator differently? I mean, we all have these different personalities, different hair color, different eye color, different skin color, come from various cultures. We're going to celebrate, we're going to worship completely different. So why do we all have to be within the same box? Now, granted, I mean, I think that we can, like, yes, I agree with this, or no, I don't quite agree with that, but I can respect you, and your belief system, and it's like, share with me what your knowledge is, and let me see if some of that resonates with me, and I'll share a little bit of, my knowledge, because I think that's how we grow. But I mean, for me, I've felt for a long time that, religion was really a man-made invention. And I think that there's a lot of things like angels, that they have taken in biblical that were something that were actually documented as a Norse thing. You know, these winged things, angels in the Bible aren't described as being winged. Honestly, I mean, they're not. There's seraphim, and then there's, you know, something else. So it just makes me a little bit sad when people just are just so pent up. It's like, you got to believe it this way, you got to do it this way, you know. It's just like one way, one cookie cutter way, and it's just never was meant to be that way.
No.
Never. It's going against nature to be like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's exactly what I did, you know, when I was coming into this and I was thinking, okay, this isn't a phase anymore, this is like a real thing.
It's a thing.
This is the thing. Because another thing that I find quite unfortunate is that people have such horrible, horrible experiences in Christianity. And you'll find a lot of witches who have had a lot of horrible experiences in Christianity. And I find it so unfortunate. Like, I'm so sad for you. And I'm so sad for the people who have had such horrible experiences.
But I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not. No, you're not. And that's completely fine. That's completely fine. But I'm upset because it doesn't have to be like that.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't have to. But I had to go through those things in order to understand and appreciate what I have now. And if I hadn't, then, and everything was comfortable, then I wouldn't be here right now. You know, I wouldn't, you know, I would still just be like, da, 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 this is what I gotta do, you know, and it's, you just go through the motions, you know, this is it, you know, with, you know, you're just like, why am I saying this prayer? I don't know. This is what I memorized, you know, that, you know, there is, yeah, supposed to be so spiritual, but yet there's no connection.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I did. I was like, okay, I sat myself down and I said to myself, what do I believe? What do I believe? Not what am I told to believe? What do I believe? What do I resonate with within my Catholic faith? And I tell you right now, I got rid of a whole lot of shit. I got rid of a whole lot of shit. And I was like, fantastic. Now I can fill up these gaps with things that I actually believe that aren't Catholic and melt that into my own spirituality.
My cat just hissed at me. She came to sit on my lap. I petted her and she hissed. I'm like, what? What's wrong with you? How rude. Okay, sorry.
Rude. But yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I've got a lot of Catholic ancestors. I've got Lutheran ancestors. I've got Church of England ancestors. I'm yet to find non-Christian ancestors.
It was a way of life. I mean, let's be honest. It was a way of life, and you weren't part of that life, then you were an outcast, and that was very uncomfortable when you weren't rich. Yeah, kind of like it was sort of like survival to go with the flow.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I hope that one day I will find someone. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Something I did want to say is, I know that we're talking about ancestors, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I need to do an ancestor altar, and I need to do this, and I need to do that. Make sure it's ones that you are really, truly connecting with in a positive way. Like you had kind of touched on something there that I wanted to reiterate. I had a bad experience with my grandfather, and Christy, the Kindred Witch, that I was on with last night, actually detached this ancestor from me. When I was up with Tequila at her house, she was teaching me, you know, how to do pendulum work, because I hadn't really done it. It's like, well, I normally, you know, I talk to spirits all the time, you know, I already have this connection, but I've never learned how to do this. Can you teach me the appropriate way and how to maybe control it a little bit? And she was showing me exactly how to do it. The what?
Using a pendulum board?
We didn't even use a board. We just kind of we were programming my pendulum, connecting with my spirit guide. That happened, which was amazing. That was amazing. But I had a grandfather, and I had a really bad past with this grandfather. I think I have said it out loud, so I mean, I don't mind saying it again, but I was born to a teenage mom, and of 14 years old. My mother was only 14 years old when she had me. And this grandfather basically took me out of the bed, wrapped me up in a blanket, and put me in the trash can when I was 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old. 2 weeks, yes. And out in the curb. And, he tried to kill me. He tried to kill my mother. He tried to kill my aunt, my uncle. I mean, he was just a tormented person. And you can imagine what that manifests in as a spirit. So when he died, and he had died probably, I'm going to say 2 years before I became a witch and embraced what I have, full on. And once I became a witch, oh my God, stuff started happening. I don't know if you ever went on my channel, and there was a lot of chitter chatter that wasn't the humans talking. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, to a point where I just threw up my arms, and I was so damn sick of it, because it's like, I have something to say, and will you just stop freaking interrupting me, because it's so rude, right? Well, so Tequila and I were over here trying to program stuff, and my spirit guide is like, no, I can't talk. I can't talk until, basically, because he's there. No joke. Like, if you ask her today, she and I were just like, what the fuck just happened? In her dining room, my Puerto Rican grandfather had such a hissy fit that half of the power in her house on one side of the house went out, and there was like electric wind. That's the only thing that I can describe this to be, was like electric wind that flew out. It got super cold where we were at, but then her husband and my husband's on the other side of the wall watching TV, and they were warm and fine. It got cold where we were at, and then this gush of like electric wind, and then out the door, and then half of the power in her house goes out, like a Puerto Rican spirit hissy fit. It was crazy, right? It was nuts. It was nuts. And Christy had to, I was just at my wit's end. I couldn't sleep. He was waking me up. He was a bully, he was just a nasty bully. And I didn't exactly know how to handle it. And, Lady Gravedancer was like, you need to be strong, and you need to be like really adamant. And I was still just hung up on being polite, because I didn't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm sitting with the freaking Lady Gravedancer. Like, seriously, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, you tell me what to do. Shoot, I don't know. And I'm just like, don't judge me. I really
what to do right now.
I know. It's like,
so I need direction.
I need direction. But it's just like, not all ancestors, just because they are your ancestors, are those that you need to be sharing space with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're not going to agree with you. Just like regular family at a holiday, you're going to bicker about something. You better be real careful who you're talking to. Mm-hmm.
And this is one thing that this is why I have previously worked with Ancestors capital A, was because I felt like if I worked with energy of Ancestors capital A collectively, and I didn't invite specific people in. See, my thought process was, if I don't invite these specific people in that I don't actually know, then, there isn't really that chance of having a negative experience with them. Because I never met my great-grandparents. They passed before I was born. And, even though I had read about these people on Ancestry.com and from what family members have told me, I'm like, I don't know this person. I don't know what their character is. I don't know what their demeanor is. If I call on this individual person and they turn out to be an asshole, freaking pies in my face. So that's why I really worked with ancestors collectively, and their collective energy without having to call in individuals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense. It does. But you know what? His sister, my great aunt Angie, was a stand-in mom for me, and she is
your Aunt Angie.
She's amazing, and she actually protected my mother from him. She took in my mother, my aunt, and I'm not sure about my uncle. She took in me, different times in our lives, and protected us from, this person. And she's doing the same thing now, and it's just amazing. And so I think Christy, with the help of her, and then also my other grandmother, who the branch side of the family that I just told you all about, all of that, she's a bit of a bulldog and a bossy thing. She's Scottish through and through. I'm telling you, she is a bossy little thing. So I mean, those two ladies are just like, throwing elbows in there. They are. And so them with my spirit guide, they're just, I mean, stuff is getting done. Things are so quiet. And then when Lady Grave Dancer surprised us for the 24-hour chat, I had asked her, I'm like, does it feel good in here? Does it feel okay? Not like, what we experienced. She's like, no, it feels good. I'm like, yes, I've been doing so much work. Let me just tell you, people, frankincense is not only an oil that I am addicted to. Not only is it my lover, but I have found that it is the best smudge for this kind of thing. The best. I'll throw that sage just over my head. No more.
Thank you.
That frankincense works. Works. And then you follow it up with Palo Santo. Oh, hallelujah.
I swear by frankincense. I really, really do. It's something that is just incredible. Since I've only been working with frankincense since I've started working with my archangels. See, now I am just working with frankincense like at all times, like for everything. Like everything I need in my life. Oh, I think I just might need some frankincense. Like it's default frankincense,
I have it. I mean, Noah will tell you, I have it in my purse. And every time we go somewhere and I'm like, here, put some of this on. I'm like the total mom. I'm like, rub that on, put that here, do whatever. Do you need a mint? Are you hungry? Do you need a cracker? I've got crackers. It's like the purse of wonder. I've got all kinds of stuff in there. I'm like a Girl Scout.
Purse of wonder.
I should do a video like what's in Raven's purse. It's crazy in there. It's crazy.
You should.
But I've got a little frankincense oil, and I do have a sage oil.
I've got clary sage oil, and I prefer that.
You don't like the California white sage at all?
No. I really don't. I'm really not about it. I'm really not about it. But yeah, I love my frankincense. I
do too. I like to cut it with bergamot. A little bit of bergamot and a little frankincense with some almond oil. Ooh, that's a good time.
Almond oil. I love almond oil, and I love almond milk as well.
Me too. Actually, I have almond coffee creamer.
Ooh, yes.
Yum.
We have been completely neglecting the chat.
I haven't even looked at this chat. I'm sorry, chatters. I love you still.
We're sorry, not sorry, because we've had a really great chat. We've had a really fantastic discussion.
Do they have questions for us?
I don't know. I can't see any. I am just scrolling through. But if anybody, please, if you've asked us a question, please ask it again. Put it in capitals for us so we can see it. And we will answer questions about anything. I mean, about ancestors especially, because
that's a thing.
That's a thing that we're talking about today. But I am very excited about. I'm very excited about getting my DNA test back, because my last name Morabito is Italian, but it has Spanish origins. So because my family were from the south of Italy, and because the south of Italy was ruled by the Spaniards for quite some time, I am interested to see whether Spanish will show up on my DNA test.
Ooh,
Which is
that is exciting.
yeah. So
We might be related. We could be related.
We could be. We
could
absolutely could be. But my last name actually means so. Mora is like you've got a lot of like Morales or something. Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Morales, yeah.
Morales. Like there's everywhere. Same thing. Like in Italy, there are a lot of Moravitos, but so that Mora, that's like a derivative from like mulberry. So like the mulberry. I'm dinging now. Sorry, that's me.
Ding! I just heard it in my ear. I'm like, what's going on?
What is going on? So that first bit is derived from like the mulberry bush, and then abito is how you say I live, or I
live with the mulberry.
So I live near the mulberry. That's what it means. It's the family that lives near the mulberry.
That's awesome.
Really interesting.
It is. It is.
Right.
Gosh.
So it also has meanings like nomadic type meanings, hermit type meanings, like wanderers and things like that. So I'm like super excited. I'm just like pinging.
When do you get it? When do you get it? Do you know? Like, so, I know that you did the spit. I know you did the spit and the whole shebang.
I did the spit. I sent it off that day. So I literally got it the night before I did the spit live. And then I sent it off that day. So I only had it in my possession for 24 hours.
You're like, get rid of it. I got to get it.
I got to get it. So I sent it back off. And it does say 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. My husband did it, and oh my God, like it opened up crazy doors for him. So he had thought that he had done fantastic research already. Okay. He came back what he thought. I mean, obviously, he has an Irish last name. I'm Scotch Irish a little, and then English, and goes back to France, whatever, and then half Puerto Rican. So he found out, and he was born in Germany, and he thought, oh yeah, I'm a little bit of German, I'm a little bit of this, I'm definitely Irish. Irish is like the smallest thing on there. I mean, it's not the smallest, I mean, but it's as opposed to boom, Viking. Like incredible. Viking is a thing. And so it opened up all this stuff. So he has gotten all the way back BC. That's BC. Which it's just one name. Like there's no middle, last, or whatever. It's just one name.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. So it'd be like Ragnar.
So is he related to Ragnar Lothbrok or what?
Oh my God, yes. I wish. I don't know. I don't know. But I love that show, and I love that you're watching it. I mean, I love that show.
Well, I finished it. Like I'm all up to date now.
You're all up to date? Okay.
I'm all up to date. And I loved it, and I'm loving it, and I cannot wait until the next season, which I don't know when it happens, but I'm excited.
I don't know when it happens either. I don't either, but that is the theme song. In my intro, when I do my intro, that is the theme song. There's something so hauntingly wonderful about that song. It just takes you somewhere else. It's just primal. Oh, I love it.
We were talking about it the other day. It's really sexy.
It's super sexy. I want to strip off my clothes and dance in the moon. Like it's like absolutely, it is. Right. It's
So
amazing.
since watching Vikings and then delving into like Norse stuff, Norse music is really like a thing for me now. Like I have a playlist now on YouTube. You'll have to check it out. But some of that stuff, I'm like, yes. And it's like, I will use it in ritual, and I will just like let it take me, because it is so haunting and trance-like, and I'm like, this is fucking incredible. Like the energy that it builds with the drums.
Oh, I know.
And the singing, and I'm like, oh, like this is just fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Hold on just 1 second. Keep talking. I got to answer a question real quick.
No worries.
Okay, be right back.
I'm going to, okay, I'm looking at the chat now, you guys. Now, you guys, let's have a look. I'm scrolled as far as I can go. Athena Beth Black. Hello. Arwen, hello. Who else? Rita, hello. I'm just looking to see. I'm just scanning through to see if there's any questions. Oh, Rita says that we can upload the tree to GEDCOM and it'll tell you if there's Salem witches we're related to. That's cool. I won't be because I have 0 American in my life. But...
I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Okay.
Rita Vape said that there is something that you can upload your family tree to some website and it can tell you if you were related to anyone who was in the Salem witch trials.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
Oh my God, now Athena is saying that there's creepy noises and sounds like whispers. Does anyone...
Where, on my side?
Oh my God. Dawn says that they think it's on my side. It sounds like it's on my side. Maybe an ancestor popping by.
It could be.
You know who it probably was? It was probably my Nonna. Hello, Nonna. If you're here.
You were talking about her. You were talking about her.
What happens? I'll talk about her and then she'll show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to watch this back to see if I can hear anything. Something was talking in one of Alvine's videos the other day.
Uh-huh. I've got a couple with Lady Grave Dancer. You know what, when she interviews me, she's talking, I think it's hereditary witches versus whatever, yeah, blood or something about that. And she's like, you know, I had a horrible day and I just want everybody to go home. And it says very clearly, I'll go.
Oh.
The very next day, I used to have a moonstone. I used to have this other moonstone necklace, and the very next day, my moonstone was gone. It took my moonstone with it. I have not found it since. And it was on my side. It was absolutely on my side. And so, like, my channel my shit was haunted for a while over here. And now things have, like, seriously calmed down. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Tequila, for all the help. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it back. But yeah, here we go.
Okay, so we've got a question from Claire. How do I work out who is around me? Is it a matter of practicing talking to them?
Repeat the question.
How do I know who is around me, and is it a matter of practicing talking to them?
Well, this can get a little muddy. You can always go to somebody who is a medium, you know, a trusted medium, and you can talk to them. They kind of very similar to what you experienced with Elder. You know, you didn't know, you know, you weren't open, or you weren't viewing, you know, you weren't in the viewing session of that, and you know, they made you aware of it. It sort of happened for me a little bit in the beginning that way, and then all of a sudden it was like whoosh, you know. So yeah, you can do that. I think that just by talking, you could also do something similar to like automatic writing. Might be something that could help. I would definitely get with your spirit guide first. You need to be asking for your spirit guide and asking for your spirit guide to protect you, and allow those people in. So you can ask your ancestors that you do know of, that you had great relationships with first, you know, hey, come and sort of like be a fortress for me, you know, because there's a lot of stuff that will come in and they'll lie to you. They will just flat out lie to you to use your energy for their own purposes. They will. And they do.
There are also, I haven't experimented with tarot and ancestors, but there's different tarot spreads that you can do to get in touch with your ancestors, or to just kind of pick up on if there's any ancestor energy around you and who it could be. There's definitely those kinds of spreads around. Yeah, meditations, but yeah, definitely getting some protection up first is a good idea. Because if you're opening yourself up, because at the end of the day, you are opening yourself up to spirit, and that, can be a very generalized type of thing. So
it can, yeah. I mean, and by protection, way of, you've got your blessed salt, you've got, you can do it that way. You can oils, any oils that you want to put on yourself, any stones or crystals that you feel, any talisman, jewelry, any of that stuff that you feel you need. I mean, and some people are like, oh, it's security blankets, but you know what? You're dealing with something that, if you're new to it, I mean, it can rock your world. I mean, even if you're old to it, it depends on what you're dealing with. I mean, it can be something crazy. I mean, really. Yeah. And it takes a while to get rid of it. And you're going to be tired, and it's going to love it.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let me have a look. Any more questions, you guys? If not, I've held you here ransom for almost 2 hours on the dot. So we will probably wrap up because it's late now.
It is. It's coming on 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so
wants to go to sleep.
So if there isn't any more questions, guys, thank you so much for joining us both in the chat and talking ancestors. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. Finally.
Oh, it was fun. So fun. I love this topic. I get very passionate about it. So I'm never going to be finished with researching. Never.
Well, we might have to schedule like a part 2 after I get my DNA results back.
Yes, that would be awesome.
A whole can of worms for me to talk about as well. So that'll be super fun.
That'd be awesome.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for joining Raven, and thank you, Raven, for joining us here at Wonder Witness Witchcraft.
Thank you for having me.
And look, Raven's going to be a regular now that she's here. She'll be with us next week as well on the 18th for when we for when we talk House of Tarot and, do really fun stuff about House of Tarot. And there's going to be some live readings. There's going to be awesome, fabulous witches like Raven. And we're just going to talk witchy shops and witchy products and witchy services. And there's going to be promotional codes for you to get from things.
I'm excited.
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. So we look forward to seeing you all then. I look forward to having you back then. But for now, everyone, much love and many blessings. Do you have anything to say to finish up?
No, just thank you for having me, and I'll see you next week.
All right, everyone.